Here we have a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla. This one comes in the LE trim level in black sand pearl. And then we have black premium cloth interior. For the powertrain, we get a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that's mated to a continuously variable transmission. This one has a little over 91,000 miles on it. To the front end here, we get our LED headlamps. Nice and bright, like the look there, and I like the front fascia of the LE overall. With it to be the base model trim, it still looks pretty good. Now down here, these are gonna be 16-inch steel wheels. I like the wheel covers that are on here particularly. Now we have a manual key fob, so we just have the key. You have to put in the hole there to unlock the vehicle, but you do get power door lock controls once you're actually in there to unlock everything. Rear window lock is there. You get one touch up and down for the driver's side window, regular power windows on the other 3 doors. Bottle holder there, power mirror controls, hood release, look at the pedal, and you get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel there. And then here's our manual driver's seat. I believe that's a 6-way. But I want to give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Corolla today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. And I'll make sure the dealers are fighting to get you that best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. I wanted to pop the gas cap in the trunk for later, but let's go ahead and check out this rear seat room. I'm 6'3" with longer legs, sitting behind myself. Surprisingly decent room back here. Seat back pocket there, little storage tray there. And there's a look at the front from back here. Reading light for the back. Kind of far up there because you get 2 up there, but it's whatever. Now, even in the LE, I'm surprised we get the bottle holders in the center seat. We could fold that down. And grab handle there. Child lock, lock, unlock there. Now gas cap's on the left side. So put 87 in there, no problem. And there's a look at the back end. I'll take another look after I show you the trunk space. But there's the look in there, and it's a decent size, I think, for the segment especially. And down there you have the spare tire, jack and all that. There's a look at the back end, exhaust. But as you come around the rear passenger side, you can fold the seats down by hitting this right here. So this is for the right side, and then that other one is for the left side. I think it's interesting they put them in the interior space instead of having them on the sides here like most manufacturers do. But your car seat top tethers are there. Pretty easy to lock that back into place. Bottom anchors are kind of hidden back in there. Front passenger seat, also manual. I think that's only 4 ways. And then your glove compartment right in there. This one's just a little off track. So as we come back around to the front, we're gonna take a quick look in the engine bay. And again, that's a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So you have the plastic hard vinyl steering wheel here. There's the horn. Here we have the clock. And then to the radio, we get AM, FM, as well as Bluetooth, CD drive, and we have an aux and USB input too. Pretty easy to set up a favorite. You just hold the buttons down there. And I like that you get so many presets that you can actually add on here. I think it's 36. So you can add up 36 presets between AM, FM, and that's pretty substantial, I think. Now here you can see kind of how your driving record is in terms of the trips. Hit that button when the phone's connected. You can hook up your Bluetooth. And volume knob here, click that to turn the audio off. And the CD drive is right up top there. And there's still a CD in there. Avril Lavigne, okay. Hazards are right there. Now down here, one of the coolest things about this model in particular is this one came with a single zone automatic climate control. So I can set that to auto, adjust temperature, adjust speed, and adjust fan direction there. AC toggle defrosters there. So 12 volt, a USB-A and aux input. And then for the shifter, just hit the brake, pull, reverse, neutral drive. Come over here for the sport mode, and then you also have the engine braking mode there if you want to use that. Parking brake, traction control toggle is here. 2 bottle holders. Here's your center console cubby space. So there's the top tray. And there is the bottom one there. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. Now for the vanity mirror, just open that up and that light comes on. When you close it, it goes off. Now back to the steering wheel itself. The blinkers are here. I'm gonna turn these off so I can see the gauge cluster a little better. So you can set those to low beams, the parking lights auto or daytime running lights off, high beams, flash there. And if your intermittent wipers, one time off, intermittent low, high, you can adjust that intermittent frequency here. Pull up here for the front wiper fluid. And then to the steering wheel itself, volume down, volume up, track list or radio station presets can be toggled there. And then you can hit this button to go through your audio sources. And then you can see it change over here. You can hold it to mute there. Bluetooth, buttons are right there. Voice recognition, lane departure, gap adjust for your forward collision alert and your radar cruise control. And then your radar cruise you could turn on here, set the speed, and then when you turn it on, you can just hold it, and then that'll take you to just the regular cruise. And then you can cancel the cruise there. But this display button toggles the top half of the gauge cluster there, in the digital part at least. And then you do have the meter setting. So in here, you can change your units of measurement. And then also you have this button down here for the bottom where you can decide if you want to see the trip meter or the odometer. And then here is the key right here. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2019 Toyota Corolla LE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Corolla here, the CVT actually pushes this thing pretty hard. And I like how it's kind of based on your throttle response. So if you give it some gas coming out of a corner, it'll keep you in that sweet spot to just keep you pushing until you hit the speed limit. And I really like that about this car. So with it being front wheel drive, you do get quite a bit of pull coming from the front tires. And I can say, I'm gonna turn the lane departure off, but I had a Geo Prism that had a 1.8 in it and it did not pull like this does. Now, of course, I had like a 3 or 4 speed automatic, but I'm very impressed by the overall power you're getting from this engine. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Here we go. Oh yeah, baby. A little humor there, but honestly, gets up to speed very nicely. Now you do get adaptive cruise here again. That's just I think it's a pretty good perk of this LE trim here, just having that ability. If you want to use adaptive cruise, you can. If you don't have to. But I mean, the ride quality for this car, for it to be a Toyota Corolla, is actually pretty good. So I'm impressed by how well it's riding, and then you can still get upwards of 40 miles per gallon if you try. Now with the CVT, you kind of want to find that sweet spot again to accelerate, so I got it better pulling out of that parking lot as opposed to flooring it coming down the interstate, but I always like to just put my foot down if I can, just to show it off. But it felt quicker coming out of that corner as opposed to flooring it coming down that off ramp or on ramp. Now I want to give one more thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Corolla today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home though, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. But this car is $18,000. And it's just so, one of the reasons that these do so well is you can just get behind the wheel of one of these and you can't tell if it's got 0 miles on it or 200,000 miles on it, because there's not really anything that you can feel in how they drive. That's why these things can basically be run into the ground and then driven another 150,000 miles with no problem. They're just that reliable. I think of the Corolla, the Civic, the Accord, the Camry, where you just get behind the wheel of a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and you can just drive it till the wheels fall off, because that'll probably go out before the engine transmission does. And that's one of the reasons, again, that these hold their value, that people still want them. But just having the radar cruise, the infotainment system, the automatic climate control, just the little things really help to stick out compared to back then. It might have been a Chevy Cruze, or I think the Fusion was still out at that time, I don't know. But you know, the smaller compact cars, that's one of the reasons that this has stood the test of time, I think. So I shouldn't have said Fusion, I should have said Ford Focus, but it's just still a good car even today, just to have that standard radar cruise. And then we still have the lane departure alert on this one, so no lane keeping system, but still the radar cruise is the biggest thing, I think. But all in all, again, for an $18,000 price tag with less than 92,000 miles on it, a 19 model and 25, pretty solid deal, I think. Especially if you plan on keeping this thing, again, for however long it'll keep driving. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2019 Toyota Corolla, and this one is in the LE trim level.